It was supposed to be the perfect pairing, Luka Doncic, one of the most talented playmakers in the NBA, teaming up with LeBron James, a basketball genius known for elevating every teammate he's ever played with. The Lakers had visions of a new dynasty, a championship duo that would dominate both the half-court and transition game. But from the very first few games, something was off the Lakers. A team built on speed, tempo, and aggressive transition play suddenly found themselves slowing down Luka. Despite his undeniable talent, wasn't fitting in the way fans expected. The offense, once a fluid and explosive system, now felt disjointed, hesitant, slower. At first, LeBron didn't say much. He's seen it all. He's played with stars of all kinds, ball dominant. Players like Kyrie Irving pass first superstars like Chris Bosh, even aging legends like Dwayne Wade, who had to adapt their game, but after just a few games with Luka, LeBron's patience was already wearing thin. Because when LeBron runs the floor, he expects his teammates to keep up. He demands quick decisions, fast breaks, and instant execution. But every time Luka got the ball, he slowed the game down, taking his time, controlling possessions, turning the Lakers' fast-paced offense into a half-court battle. At first, the tension was subtle. A few side glances from LeBron, a shake of the head after a stalled fast break. But behind the scenes, something was building, something the media hadn't caught on to yet, because for the first time in a long time, LeBron was about to call out his own teammate. The Lakers have always thrived on speed ever since LeBron arrived in LA. The team has built its identity around quick ball movement, relentless fast breaks, and high-energy offense even in the later stages of his career. LeBron still plays with an intensity that forces opponents to scramble, adjust, and react all while is already 3 steps ahead. But Luka doesn't play that way. His game is slower, methodical, calculated. He controls the ball. Like a chess grandmaster surveying the defense, setting up his dribble, waiting for the perfect opening, and when he does make a move, it's usually in the half-court, breaking down defenders one-on-one rather than pushing the tempo for years. This style worked perfectly in Dallas. The Mavericks built their entire system around Luka's rhythm, surrounding him with shooters, letting him dictate every possession and accepting the slow pace as part of the strategy. But in LA, things don't work. Like that, because when the Lakers get a stop on defense, they run Austin Reaves. One of the few remaining players from the previous roster sprints up the court, cutting and moving, trying to create transition opportunities. New acquisitions are trying to prove themselves playing with high energy. LeBron, he's already 2 steps ahead, orchestrating the next move, but more than once, instead of capitalizing on an easy transition bucket, the offense stalled. Luka taking his time. Luka slowing things down. Luka waiting for a mismatch instead of taking advantage of the open floor at first. LeBron tried to adjust. He let Luka run the offense his way for stretches, but as the games went on, one thing became clear. This wasn't working. The Lakers weren't playing at their pace anymore. They were playing at Luka's pace. And for LeBron, that was a problem, because while Luka saw himself as controlling the tempo, LeBron saw it as something else: wasted opportunities. And every single time, a fast break turned into a slow possession. LeBron's frustration grew. At first, it was subtle, a glance, a quick shake of the head, a sigh after yet another stalled fast break. But as the Lakers continued struggling to find their rhythm, LeBron's frustration started to boil over inside the team's practice facility. The pace was intense. Coaches were pushing transition drills, urging players to get up the floor faster. Austin Reaves and the younger guys were running the lanes, cutting hard, and trying to keep the tempo high, but every time the ball found Luka's hands, everything slowed down. Luka would dribble up the court at his own pace, calling for isolation plays or waiting for a mismatch. The coaching staff knew it was his style, but now they were starting to wonder, was Luka unwilling to adjust? And then it happened during a full-court drill. LeBron pushed the ball up the floor, expecting a quick decision. He zipped a pass to Luka at the 3-point line, a perfect opportunity to attack or swing the ball for an easy shot, but Luka didn't do either. Instead, he held the ball, surveyed the defense, and waited. By the time he made his move, the defense had already reset. The possession was dead. LeBron clapped his hands in frustration, shaking his head. "Come on, man. Let's go." His voice echoed through the gym. Luka GL aimed over, but he didn't say anything. He just dribbled back to the top of the key, waiting for the next play to start. The room fell quiet for a moment. Nobody spoke, but everyone felt. The tension Lakers players exchanged glances, knowing this wasn't just a bad practice rep. This was a deeper issue. And LeBron, he wasn't the type to ignore problems. He wasn't going to let this slide. It all came to a head in a game the Lakers should have won easily, facing the Charlotte Hornets. The Lakers built a comfortable 13-point lead in the third quarter. Everything was going according to plan, fast breaks, quick ball movement, defensive stops, but then it all fell apart. The Hornets went on a 23-3 run, completely flipping the game on. Its head, the Lakers' offense stalled, their defense crumbled, and the momentum shifted in the worst way possible. And in the middle of it all, LukaDoncic, Luka's stat line wasn't bad, 14 points, 11 rebounds, and 8 assists. But his shooting was inefficient. More importantly, his pace was killing the Lakers' flow. There were at least 3 transition opportunities where the Lakers had numbers, but instead of pushing the ball, Lucas slowed things down, calling for half-court sets by the time he made his move. The Hornets' defense was already set. LeBron was visibly frustrated on one possession. LeBron sprinted up the floor, waving for the ball, only for Luka to hold it, letting the defense recover the moment Charlotte stole the ball and scored on. The other end, LeBron threw his hands up in frustration, then things got even worse. Austin Reeves, one of the few guys keeping up the intensity, got ejected after a no-call on a drive to the basket. Reeves exploded on the referee, earning 2 quick technical fouls. As he walked off the court shaking his head, the energy in the building shifted completely. The Hornets took full advantage, closing out the game with a 197 win, and as the final buzzer sounded, LeBron walked straight to the locker room. No handshakes. No words. Luka followed behind, head down, fully aware of what just happened. The loss itself wasn't the issue. It was how they lost. And for LeBron, this was the moment. He realized something had to change. The locker room was silent. The kind of silence that only comes after a loss that shouldn't have happened. LeBron sat at his locker, still in his jersey, his hands resting on his knees. His mind was racing. He had seen this story before. Superstars clashing play, styles not meshing. A championship window closing faster than anyone expected across the room. LukaDoncic sat quietly scrolling through his phone, avoiding eye contact. He knew what was coming. LeBron wasn't the type to call out teammates publicly, but behind closed doors he spoke his mind, and tonight he wasn't holding back. He stood up and walked over to Luka, his voice low but firm. "Look, man, you're great, but we can't play like this." Luka glanced up, his expression neutral. He wasn't used to being challenged. Not like this in Dallas. He was the system, everyone adjusted to him. But now the Lakers weren't built to slow down. "You see how we play, right?" LeBron continued, his arms crossed. "We run, we move the ball, we push the tempo, and I need you to keep up." Luka exhaled sharply, setting his phone down. He wasn't backing down. "I play my game." Luka responded, his tone calm but firm. "It's worked my whole career." LeBron shook his head. "And it's not working here." The words hit like a punch. Luka wasn't used to hearing that, not from a teammate, and definitely not from someone like LeBron James. The room was still. A few guys overheard, but nobody dared to interrupt. Luka leaned forward, locking eyes with LeBron. "So what? You want me to change everything?" LeBron didn't hesitate. "I want you to adjust. That's what great players do." Luka didn't respond right away. He just stared at LeBron for a moment, as if deciding whether to take this personally or take it as a challenge. Finally, he leaned back in his chair, grabbing his phone again. "We'll see," he muttered. LeBron clenched his jaw, nodding slowly. He had said what needed to be said, but deep down he knew something else. Luka wasn't ready to change, and if that was the case, the Lakers had a bigger problem than just one loss. It didn't take long. The next morning, the story was out. NBA insiders, beat reporters, and Twitter accounts flooded social media with one major takeaway. LeBron James was frustrated with LukaDoncic. The headlines were everywhere. LeBron Snaps at Luka after Lakers loss, locker room tension boiling over Lakers. Concerned about Luka's fit, sources say LeBron is losing patience. Luka's play style clashing with Lakers' fast-paced system. Can he adjust? Some reports even claimed that LeBron had privately told the Lakers coaching staff that something needed to change fast, but it wasn't just the media talking. Former NBA players, analysts, and fans all jumped in on ESPN. Stephen A. Smith didn't hold back. This is not working. LukaDoncic is a superstar, no doubt, but you're telling me he's going to walk into LeBron's team and slow the whole thing down? Nah, that ain't happening. LeBron James is 40 years old and still running the floor better than Luka over on TNT. Shaq and Charles Barkley debated the situation. Shaq, Luka is one of the best in the game, but you can't expect LeBron to sit around while he walks the ball up every play. If you're in lay, you run chuck. But can he change? Shaq, can Luka really just become a different player overnight? I don't see it. Then came the fan reactions. Twitter erupted. Hates NBA hot takes. Luka got to go. He's an all-time great talent but doesn't fit in LA. Trade him before it's too late. As Lakers dynasty, LeBron is 40 and still out running Luka. That's crazy. Either Luka speeds up or this ain't working. Even former players started weighing in. Dwayne Wade tweeted, adjust or be left behind. The best players always find a way. But the loudest voice, Kyrie Irving. The moment the story leaked, Kyrie posted a cryptic Instagram story, just 4 words. Some people never learn. No name, no explanation, but everyone knew who he was talking about, and just like that, the Lakers' problems were no longer just an internal issue. Now the entire NBA world was watching. The media firestorm wasn't just noise. It put the Lakers' front office on high alert. Inside Lakers headquarters, executives weren't just monitoring the situation. They were scrambling to contain it. The tension between LeBron and Luka wasn't just a minor adjustment issue. It was a fundamental clash of styles, and with the entire NBA world now aware of the brewing conflict, the pressure to find a solution was mounting. The stakes were high. The Lakers didn't bring in Luka to experiment. They brought him in to win championships, and right now, this wasn't looking like a championship team. NBA insider Adrian Wowski reported that Lakers Rob Pelinka and head coach J.J. Redick held a closed-door emergency meeting to discuss the issue. Sources inside the organization confirmed that the tension wasn't just between LeBron and Luka. It was rippling through the entire team. Some players, particularly the younger ones like Austin Reeves, were frustrated with the stalled transition plays. Others, including some of the Lakers' new acquisitions, were hesitant to take sides, fearing they might be caught in the middle of a superstar power struggle. But one thing was clear: the team was divided, and if the front office didn't act soon, this could spiral into a full-blown disaster. 3 options were on the table. 1, force Luka to adjust. 2, push him to increase his pace, move the ball quicker, and play within the Lakers' high-speed transition system. 3, limit his isolation, heavy play style, and make him adapt to how LeBron has always run his teams. 3, the risk: Luka has never been forced to play outside his comfort zone. If he resists, the tension could explode. 2, adjust the Lakers' offense to fit Luka. 3, slow down the team's tempo, let Luka control the offense, and rebuild the system around his methodical play style. Instead of pushing in transition, they'd rely on half-court execution, isolations, and a slower offensive structure. The risk this would mean: LeBron has to step back, something he's never done in his career. And worse, the Lakers would lose their identity as a fast-paced transition, heavy team. 3, the unthinkable: explore trade options. It was still early in the season, but some voices in the front office were already whispering. What if Luka just isn't the right fit? If Luka refuses to change, do they consider moving on before it's too late? The risk trading. Luka would be a franchise-altering move. Would they even get equal value in return? The meeting lasted for hours. There was no easy solution. And even worse, no one could agree on the right move for Lakers head coach J.J. Redick. This was a nightmare scenario. This wasn't just about coaching, it was about handling 2 of the most dominant personalities in the NBA. On one side, he had LeBron, the ultimate leader, a 4-time champion, a player who's built his career on adapting to different situations, but still controlling the tempo of every team. He's played for, on the other, LukaDoncic, the future of the league, a generational talent who has never had to change his style for anyone. And now their games weren't meshing and the entire world was watching. Reich knew that whatever decision he made, someone wouldn't be happy if he pushed Luka to play faster. He risked alienating the young star and making him feel like an outsider in his own team. But if he slowed things down for Luka, he'd lose LeBron's trust and possibly derail their championship window. And then came the biggest problem of all. LeBron wasn't waiting around for answers, according to NBA insiders. LeBron had already made his stance clear. He wasn't demanding a trade or making any public statements, but behind the scenes, he was pushing for a decision. LeBron had been in the league long enough to know how this ends. He had seen what happens when superstars don't fit. He had watched the Shaw-Kobe feud tear apart a dynasty. He had witnessed Russell Westbrook's struggle to adjust in law until the team had no choice but to move on. And he wasn't about to waste his final years dealing with the same problem. The front office knew one thing for certain. This situation wasn't going away on its own. If Luka adjusted, the Lakers could be unstoppable. But if he refused, the Lakers would be forced to make a decision that could change the future of the franchise. And for LeBron, time was running out. 4 days, LukaDoncic stayed silent. The media had been running wild with speculation. Did LeBron really call him out? Was the Lakers front office considering changes? The rumors were everywhere, and fans wanted answers. But Luka, he didn't say a word. No tweets, no Instagram posts, no cryptic messages, nothing. His silence only made the situation worse. Analysts dissected every clip from the previous game, looking for signs of tension. Fans debated whether Luka was avoiding the issue or simply ignoring the noise. And inside the Lakers organization, the pressure was building. That was until the next Lakers practice. Reporters had gathered outside the facility, waiting for any sign of tension, any hint of what was really happening behind closed doors. Cameras were rolling. Microphones were ready, and everyone knew Luka wouldn't be able to avoid the questions any longer. Then he walked into the media session, calm, composed, and completely unbothered. The first question came instantly. Luka, there have been reports that LeBron is frustrated with your PCE. Do you feel like you need to change your game to fit the Lakers system? Luka didn't hesitate. He smirked. I play my game. I've always played this way. No apology, no acknowledgement of tension, just a simple, confident response. The room went silent for a moment as reporters exchanged glances. This wasn't the answer they expected. No defensive explanation, no carefully worded PR statement, just Luka standing firm, refusing to change the way he plays. Another reporter quickly followed up. Do you think your slower play style is hurting the Lakers? Luka shrugged, his expression calm. I mean it, we just lost one game, right? The media wasn't satisfied. The reports of LeBron's frustration weren't just about a single loss. They pointed to a bigger issue within the team. Everyone could see the Lakers struggling to adjust to Luka's methodical approach. But Luka, he didn't seem to see the problem at all. Another voice cut through the crowd. But LeBron has been vocal about wanting to play with pace. How do you respond to that? For the first time, Luka paused. He looked down, exhaled, then leaned forward. His voice was calm, but there was an undeniable edge to it. Look, man, I respect LeBron. He's one of the greatest ever. But I didn't come here to change who I am. I came here to win. The room went dead silent. This wasn't just confidence. This was a statement. Luka wasn't backing down. He wasn't bending to LeBron's system. He was letting everyone know that if the Lakers wanted to win, they would have to do it on his terms. The tension in the air was thick, and reporters scrambled to ask follow-ups, but Luka had already said enough. He stood up, nodded at the media, and walked off without another word. Inside the Lakers organization, Luka's words were heard loud and clear. He wasn't going to change. If the Lakers wanted to win, they'd have to figure out how to win with Luka's style. And for LeBron, that answer wasn't good enough. LukaDoncic words spread through the NBA world like wildfire. I play my game. I've always played this way. It wasn't just confidence. It was defiance. Luka wasn't budging. He wasn't adjusting. If the Lakers wanted to win, they had to do it on his terms. And for LeBron James, that wasn't an option. The moment Luka walked out of that press conference, the Lakers' locker room was on edge. Some players respected Luka for standing. Firm others exchanged nervous glances, wondering if this was the moment the season would spiral out of control. And LeBron. He was quiet. Too quiet that night. Sources inside the Lakers facility reported that LeBron stayed after practice alone. No teammates, no coaches, just him putting up shots in an empty gym. This wasn't just about frustration. This was about control for the first time since arriving in Los Angeles. LeBron wasn't in control of his own team, but that was about to change. The next day, LeBron called a closed door. Players only meeting, no media, no coaches, just the team, the moment. Everyone sat down. LeBron stood in front of them. His voice was calm, but there was no mistaking the weight behind his words. I don't care about headlines. I don't care about distractions, but what I do care about, what we all should care about, is winning. The room was dead silent. Everyone knew exactly where this was going. We have the talent. We have everything we need. But we can't play as individuals. This isn't about egos. It's about the team. Luka, sitting near the back of the room, leaned back in his chair, arms crossed. He wasn't saying anything, but the tension between him and LeBron was obvious. LeBron continued. We can win a championship, but only if we're on the same page. That means adjustments. That means sacrifices. That means we move as one, not as two different teams playing different styles. Luka exhaled sharply, shaking his head slightly. Finally, he spoke. So what, you want me to be someone I'm not? LeBron didn't flinch. He just stared at Luka. I want you to do whatever it takes to win. Another long silence. Austin Reeves glanced at Luka, then back at LeBron. Other players shifted in their seats, unsure if this was the moment. Everything exploded, but Luka didn't argue. He didn't agree either. He just stood up, nodded once, and walked out of the meeting without saying another word. The room stayed silent. No one knew what to say. Some players looked at LeBron, waiting for his reaction. Was this the moment he'd finally lost control of the team? But LeBron didn't react. He didn't say a word. He just sat down, rested his elbows on his knees, and looked at the floor for a long moment. This wasn't just a disagreement over play, style anymore. This was a standoff. LeBron had been in the NBA for 2 decades. He had seen everything. He had played with dominant stars like Dwayne Wade, Kawhi Irving, and Anthony Davis, and every single one of them had made adjustments to win. But Luka wasn't adjusting. The problem wasn't just Luka's words, it was what they meant. He wasn't willing to sacrifice his style. Even if it meant winning a championship for LeBron, that was a serious problem, and now he had a choice to make. Push Luka. Harder risk, an even bigger confrontation, and potentially breaking the team apart. Step back and let Luka run the show. Go against everything he believed in and risk the Lakers losing their identity, or to force the front office to make a decision. Before it was too late, LeBron had always believed that the best players find a way to fit together. But this was different. This wasn't about talent. This was about control. And for the first time in his Lakers career, LeBron didn't know if he had it anymore. The tension inside the Lakers organization had reached a boiling point. LeBron James and LukaDoncic, 2 of the most dominant players in the league, 2 future Hall of Famers, were now at a crossroads. Their individual greatness wasn't in question. Their ability to win together. That was the question. Wasn't just whether they could adjust to each other, it was whether either of them even wanted to. LeBron had made it clear he wanted Luka to adapt. Luka had responded just as strongly. He wasn't changing his game for anyone now. Now the Lakers were faced with an impossible choice: stay the course and hope it works, or make a move before the season spirals out of control. Inside the Lakers, front office conversations were already happening behind closed doors. Some executives believed Luka was simply too good to move. Trading a player of his caliber was almost unheard of, a move that could haunt the franchise for decades. Others, however, pointed to the obvious: LeBron wasn't going to wait around for Luka to figure out, and if LeBron wasn't happy, the Lakers had a much bigger problem on the already accomplished. LeBron still had the power to shake the foundation of the franchise. If he wanted changes, they would happen. But how much time was he willing to give? Sources around the league were already speculating if this situation didn't improve fast. The Lakers could be forced into a decision no one expected. Would they push Luka to adjust, risking further tension in the locker room? Would they force LeBron to take a step back, knowing that he had never played in a system that wasn't built around him? Or would they make a shocking trade that would shake the entire NBA? For now, there was no answer. The only thing certain was this: the Lakers' season was on the edge of disaster. The pressure was mounting with every game, every possession that stalled because of Luka's slow tempo, every missed transition opportunity that left LeBron throwing his hands up in frustration every moment. The two stars didn't see eye to eye. The cracks in the foundation grew wider inside the locker room. Some players were stuck in the middle. The veterans, the role players, the guys just trying to do their job. They could feel the weight of the conflict. Some sided with LeBron, believing that Luka needed to speed up and adapt to the Lakers' system. Others felt that Luka had earned the right to play his way, and LeBron needed to adjust to the future. The divide wasn't just between two players anymore. It was spreading through the entire team. J.J. Redick, still in his first year as head coach, was facing a problem that even seasoned coaches would struggle with. He had to find a way to make it work. But with two of the league's strongest personalities refusing to compromise, what could he really do? And then there was the biggest question of what if it was already too late? If the Lakers didn't fix this soon, they wouldn't just be sacrificing this season, they would be risking everything. LeBron wasn't going to play forever. His championship window was closing. He wasn't here for development, for long-term adjustments, for figuring things out. He was here to win. Right now, Luka, on the other hand, wasn't thinking about windows. He was thinking about legacy. He wasn't in LA to be anyone's sidekick. He was here to be the face of the franchise. And that was the biggest problem of all. Two superstars, two different timelines, two different styles, one team that wasn't big enough for both of them. If Luka and LeBron couldn't find a way to coexist, then it wasn't just their championship hopes that were at stake. It was the future of the entire franchise, and with every game, every possession, every moment of frustration between the two stars, one question loomed larger than anything else: will this work, or will it collapse?